So I know I'm going to inevitably offend people because of their affiliations with groups, societies, belief systems, religions. Okay, now we can play semantics and say that you can say that, oh, I don't have a religion or I don't have an affiliation. But whenever you categorize yourself and affiliate yourself with some association, I don't care what it is, you have chosen a side. And even though you understand the jilly juice, I have come to understand balance. It's not about converting others. It's not about ramming jilly juice down anyone's throat. It's not about putting yourself in a category. It's understanding the dualities of our universe, the positive and negative, the Satan and Lucifer. We live in a Judeo-Christian society. What does that mean, Judeo-Christian? Who is the Satan? Who is the Lucifer? It can be interchangeable based upon how you use Judeo and Christian traditional values. Because it is traditional. Anything that you take a side on is a traditional value. And so I have spent many, many years, months, hours, peeling back the layers of programming. And today, just reading, I've been reading all this stuff on Ganino.com, which has the 13 plus 4, Illuminati bloodlines and their connections with all the different industries, banking, finance, food, you name it. And some of them are pretty intense. Some of them are very dark, and others are like, okay, we know like the Astors and all that, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the banking and the finance. And then there's some pretty dark ones like the Bundys and the Krupps. Okay, like I said, the 13 original Illuminati bloodlines have a balance of both light and dark, and they run our society. They have created religion. They have created names of your religion. I don't care whether it's Catholic, Christian, Jehovah's Witness, Judaism, whatever it is. They have given you guys a foundation to work from, to where you take a side, and then what they're able to do is use the English language to build and create doctrines of which then people will abide by those doctrines. Okay, and some are very, very balanced. Like, we don't want people indiscriminately killing people. We don't want that. We want to promote life, but we understand that for us to live, there must be a balance, because when you're able to procreate on such an exponential basis like we can, like you've seen when mice get out of control, right? What's the balancing force when you have so many mice? It's the cats. Okay, are you going to say that the cats are the demons? Are the cats satanic? No, it's just the circle of life. It's the balance. Okay, so if you're a weak mice or a weak mouse and you can't seem to run away from the cat, you're going to be sacrificed for the good of the community to feed the cat. But I don't want to call the cat evil. No. And so it's not putting a judgment on the dark and the light. It's understanding that they need to exist together. Okay? And so if life is life, it needs no affiliation. It needs no doctrine. It's just life. You understand the laws of life, and you understand the laws of death, and you just abide by which one you choose to reside on. If you want to call it a religion, that's fine. But there's religions out there where people believe in death. And so you can have a person in the Christian and the Catholic and the Jehovah's Witness and the Muslim, where one person believes that people should die. Do you call them satanic? No. They happen to affiliate with a religion, but they have still their own personal belief systems on what life is, based upon their perspective. And I'm not going to wrong them or say that there's something's bad or that's bad. No, it's not bad or wrong that you believe people should die. Whatever, fine. And then there's some people in the Muslim, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, atheist, whatever, that believe people should live, and potentially indefinitely. Are they Lucifer? I mean, I guess you can call them that, but I don't even want to put a name to it, Because as soon as you put a name to it, you're going to get opposition. You're going to get somebody going to be like, oh my God, you're satanic if you claim to be Lucifer. And so you're always going to get somebody that's going to oppose you when you put yourself in a category. Whether it's politics, religion, or science. You can have the agonist antibody and the antagonist antibody. Right now, mainstream media in the medical holistic, they're promoting the antagonist antibody. And oncology is demonizing the agonist antibody. Oh, they want you to live for a certain amount of time. But then they also don't want to balance out the light and the dark in the body. So as your body tries to get lit and is causing too much energy and you can't handle it because you're not keeping your systems properly maintained, then they have to go and try to dim the light. That's called oncology. That's all the chemotherapies, the cannabis, all the different antibiotics. Do you want to call that satanic? I don't even want to. I don't even want to call it all that. But I'm reading about these 13 bloodlines, and a lot of them, are understanding the occult, which is innovation. And then you have your traditionalists that are like, oh my God, occult is bad, but I want to live. But where do you think you get life from? It comes from innovation. Or you want to go back to the caveman, where all you're doing is hunting and gathering with no organization, no innovation, no advancement. And so you have to balance those two out. So I get that I'm going to offend anyone that puts themselves in a religious category, a political category, or even a scientific category. I get that. Inevitably, I'm going to offend people even in my Jilly Juice crowd because they are very dogmatic in their beliefs, whether it's a religion or it's a science or it's a political point of view. As soon as you put a name to something of your ideals, whether it's Trump or Biden or Jehovah's Witness or Jewish or Catholic or Christian, you have now put yourself on a side where there's always going to be someone who's going to be opposing you, and then you'll be in that forever battle of trying to be on top, of trying to be more right than the other person, trying to be more self-righteous, more righteous. And so I've learned, and it's an amazing fucking journey, I'm telling you, because you saw me go through the back and forth of, oh my God, is the vaccine good or is the vaccine bad? I can't even figure out which one is good, which one's bad. I don't know. But now I know. Vaccines are relative to the person's chemistry. And there's no way you can tell someone get a vaccine or don't get a vaccine because you have no idea what their predispositions are or their biochemistry. And so if they feel they need to get one or not get one, more power to them. Maybe it saved their life. Maybe it ended their life. You don't know. And there's so many factors as you're watching. I'm watching right now the trials for George Floyd, and they're going through all of the schematics of the respiratory system and how drugs affect your heart and your breathing and how much of a knee on your neck is a factor in causing your death, and then how much of that carbon monoxide that George was right in front of also factored into that. And then they're trying to figure out how much of the factors in that environment contribute to his death. Was it the drugs in the system? Was it the carbon monoxide? Or was it the knee on the neck? And that is the battle right now. It's like, what is the predominant factor of someone's death and someone's life? Okay. So this is some pretty crazy stuff, and I'm watching it as it happens. But I'm telling you, as soon as you put yourself in a religious category, a political category, a scientific category, you have now put yourself on one side of the aisle or the other, and you'll forever be in a battle of trying to be more right than the other person. Oh yeah, it's so complex. That's why no one can really say that I did anything wrong when someone in hospice who had pancreatic cancer, who was in hospice, who was going to die at some point, how they could say Jilly Juice killed them when they have so many different antibodies in their body that if they if they weren't going to do J juice and eat the food supply, how were they going to survive when they already had 90% negative ions in their body? That's why you really can't make things so black and white. And so that's why, unless you actually are in the room and you have done something to where it caused their death and it's antibiotic, then you really can't pin any kind of death on anybody. So yeah, so the reason why Chauvin, whatever his name is, and Potter, are being indicted or being charged for crimes because of someone's death is because they were physically in the room, physically doing something, whether it's with a gun or a taser or a knee on the neck. And now they're trying to figure out, should they be charged with first-degree murder or manslaughter or whatever? And even that is like still a question to some people. And then all the assumptions that it was racial, that was racial. And I'm just like, oh my God. There's no way to win in these types of situations. There's no way to win. So if you understand the laws of life and understand the laws of death and not take a side in the politics, religion, and science, because science doesn't really mean life or death. It's just how you want to perceive what life and death is. Science is just the word science. It's a study of. It doesn't really mean life or death. Science is a study of, and it can be manipulated based upon purpose and intention. But I do want to come from science because there are very distinct laws in science that are indisputable, like Newton's laws of motion, Coulomb's law, Einstein's theory of relativity, Copernicus, all the different great scientists and innovators of their time in the Middle Ages, all the way up to even current today, like Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. Okay, they are scientists, even though they don't have a degree. They are still computer scientists and viral scientists, even if they don't have that specific degree that people are looking for me. Like, do I need to have a degree to have a thought process and to be able to actually research very, very basic information that is out there on the web for free? And so this is what I want to get across to all of you. At some point, you're going to have to peel back the layers of programming, whether you're dogmatic in your holistic stuff, or you're promoting all your little holistic stuff and your hemp and all the good oils or whatever, or you're promoting your religion, or you're promoting something that you're still very tied to. Because all food supply is fine as long as it's food or FDA approved if it's commercially, driven. And all, thought processes and belief systems are good out there as long as it's law abiding. And there's no reason to put yourself in a category or take a side, because you have no way to determine if your belief system is really appropriate for somebody else. Now, you can exemplify what people want to see: balance, peace, and prosperity, and productivity, but that's it. I mean, anything else is all freaking just noise. Okay, and then looking and seeing these bloodlines, the Russell bloodline, or no, it was the Freeman bloodline created the Mormons. I was like, holy crap. And then the Russell bloodline created the Jehovah's Witness. I mean, and there's other bloodlines that contributed to, Baptist and Episcopalian. I mean, religion has been created, and politics has been created by all the 13 bloodlines that run your society, that have given you the parameters to work within. You think that you can survive off the grid without any of the modern conveniences that the 13 bloodlines gave to you? No, you'd be like naked and afraid, completely just out of your element. You want your climate control heating. You want your clothing. You want your shelter. You want your washing machine and a dryer and access to diverse food. So why the hell would you bite the hand that feeds you? Why not understand, take a side of life and allowing and understanding that yes, war is going to happen, poverty is going to happen, occult rituals where they're going to have human sacrifice, whether it's macro level, but that's going to be done in a different way where you are giving permission, which is like saying, okay, I'll do all my antibiotics, do my holistic remedies. That's what the medical holistic industry is where it is sanctioned voluntary human sacrifice and allow that to happen because it has to happen, or we have too many people procreating and eating up all the resources. I mean, come on, there's got to be a balance, right? So why should you convert everybody into doing jelly juice and then they eat up all the resources and we can't grow enough to keep up with the demand, and then everyone's extinct because nobody can be fed because they've eaten up all the resources on Earth? You see what I'm saying? And so even with the jelly juice crowd, don't try to get everybody on jelly juice because it's first of all, it's just time consuming, and you don't have what it takes to really give everyone the information. Even me, I can't get people in my world to do it. What makes you think you can go and try to convert, people in your world, and you don't even have half of the knowledge that I have or half the articulation of this information that I have because you haven't been on as long as I have. So this is what I'm saying. Just exemplify what you want to see in life. Be that example for your kids. Be that example for your friends and family. And there's going to be the sacrificial lambs in your world. And they're okay with it because they get rewarded very well. They get paid a lot of money. The Hollywood stars are the sacrificial lambs. They entertain you, give you innovation. You know who kind of inspired me to write? I was watching, I forget the name of it, Californication. It used to be on Netflix, and I watched it so many times because I like David Duchovny. And I like the other chick that she played in a lot of Irish movies. And the other chick, the young girl and everything, and all the different, the characters. And he was writing books about stuff. And he was like this tortured writer that needed, inspiration, and was doing all these different things. And it was going back and forth trying to figure out if he should write a script for Hollywood or do this. And I'm just like, I want to be a writer just like him. And so the Hollywood people actually inspire the population to go into specific professions, to go into do certain things. And they're like, people are like, oh, they're so satanic. No, they're sacrificing themselves so you can figure out what you want to do. And yeah, they go into drugs, alcohol, and sex and all that stuff, but whatever. That's their choice. It helps them cope with them selling their soul, but it is what it is. But at least when they're selling their soul, you're getting something from it. You're getting something out of it. That's the thing you have to understand. It's all a balance and a dance, and it's just a trip. It's I don't even know how to put it to words, but it's such a conundrum. Okay, and so, so even the JJ's crowd, you guys just do your thing. You get it, you'll do it, you'll have a great life. Those will have a great life too for a certain amount of time, and then they'll have to deal with all their predispositions, and maybe they do JJ's, maybe they don't. But it is what it is. Not everybody is meant to do JJ's. But what I'm saying is the whole categories and traditionalists always take a side. Even though you don't celebrate all of your holidays, all the holidays out there, but you're still taking a side trying to ram life down someone's throat. But when you have too much life, that's cancer. On a society, on a geographical location that can't handle that much life. So there has to be a balance there. Who's going to be the predator? It's going to be the Minotaur. The Minotaur is going to be the predator to keep the balance of humanity. Or Satan, or the Baphomet, or Anton LaVey, or whatever. So I would suggest go down my timeline and read the 13 bloodlines. It's a lot to get through. I'm going through, and I have to get like 10%. Like, I can max 10% of the words off of any page to put in my book. And so I'm going through and doing a copy and paste of 10% of like, 10,000 words. Okay? And I'm trying to find the best information to put in my book and then talk about it and start drawing the connections that yes, everything in your society that you've ever touched and known and figured out and done and been able to be successful in is run by the 13 bloodlines. It's not a big deal. Just understand what it takes to live. That's all. Just understand what it takes to live, and don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about the whole satanic shit. Don't worry about Lucifer stuff, how you think he's horrible. No, he's not. He's the bringer of light. He's knowledge. But you don't have to be Luciferian either. You don't have to take that on either, because there's got to be a balance. Too much knowledge can make somebody glitch because they don't know what to do with that knowledge. They get, I don't know, like it's too much surge of energy. So even too much knowledge can be detrimental to some, because some knowledge can be very dangerous to some people who don't know what to do with that knowledge. Okay? So it's a balance. It's all a balance, you guys. And that's what your struggle is going to be. It's balancing jelly juice and the food supply. It's going to be balancing your priorities and doing jelly juice. It's going to be balancing everything that you really haven't been trained to learn how to do, because we live in a society where it's about excess. Excess. Everything is excess. And then, then you're trying to relieve all your pain, which is killing you. And so at some point, you're going to have to face your pain. So anyways, that's all I got to say. But I'm not trying to offend anyone in different religions, but I'm going to be true to my values. And as much as I love having a diverse group of people, that I can count on my hands that I know are doing the jilly juice, it's awesome, but I know I'm going to offend somebody. But don't be offended. Don't be offended. Just do the jilly juice. And that's fine. Keep your religion, keep your category of politics, keep whatever. That's fine. Be representation. Try to change your religion to be everyone about life. But that's not going to happen. So just be an example. And then at some point, who knows, you might change your belief system to where you don't have to keep promoting a certain doctrine that's going to probably work against you at some point. Because someone else is going to interpret something in a very different way. And then you'll always be in this battle of who is more right about how you interpret the Bible or doctrines or things that are out there. Okay? All right. Bye.